This is going to be a squat progression with a band around the knees to try and promote some hip or trunk control while you're doing the squat. So first I'm going to take a band, sit down and bring my knees all the way together. And tie a nice bow here if I can, so I tie it nice and tight. You can just do a double knot, but the bow is a little easier to take off if you have enough band to do it. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I want the band just above my knees. Okay, try and fan it out for comfort, or if I can. So a couple things here. Now I have this chair behind me because it's going to give me some guidance to keep the weight on my heels. So I'll show this way and sideways. I start off with my calves touching a chair, and hopefully it's up against something so it won't slide. And I get my feet maybe a little bit beyond shoulder width apart. Toes straight or toes a little bit off to the side is okay. The band is obviously pulling my knees inward, so I have to fight the tension of that band. I really want to think about pulling my knees as far out to the side as I can without the inside of my feet raising up. So my calves are touching the chair, I pull outwards so I feel like my knees are as far out as I can, but I still have my big toe and inside of my foot on the ground. And then all I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by my hands reaching forward as my butt goes back so that I can really sit down onto my heels in a nice smooth manner. Same thing on the way up. Pulling outward on the band, I reach forward to get the pressure onto my heels so I can drive up through my heels and squeeze my butt. So from the side, I see a lot of people when they squat, the first thing they want to do is cave their knees in forward. So this chair really gives you some guidance, and the only way this is going to work without feeling like you're falling back is you really have to get that forward reach, right? So I'm pulling outward on the band just like as before, and before my knees even really start to bend, you see my butt goes back as my hands go forward. This allows me to keep a nice straight back, and this is all coming from my hips, right? So that reach, once I max out my reach, my knees are bent a little, I start to just sit down onto my heels, slowly. Same thing as I get out of the chair, knees are apart, hands reach forward, I get that reach, so I pressure on my heels, and then from here I press through my heels as I come up to that squat. Okay? Now, if the chair is a little bit too deep, the wall works as well to go into a more shallow squat. So the same idea, wall's behind me, knees are out, I do the same reach. There my butt touches the wall, and I can squeeze my butt and come back up. If that's fine, I can go a little further away. So this gets into a little bit more of a deadlift, but similar type of a motion. Butt goes back as hands reach forward, and if I want to touch that wall, I got to bend my knees a little bit, sitting my weight against the wall, and then coming back up. So the wall is a nice precursor to the chair if the chairs you have at home are a little too deep.